Look, most support chatbot demos look great when the question is easy. The real test is what happens when the uploaded documents do not have the complete answer for a question asked by the user, causing the system to hallucinate. And what if the user asks a follow up question to a previous question in the same chat? RAGent was built for that production reality. It gives you grounded answers, a privacy first deployment with a locally running model, and optional fallback support to a cloud model. With clear confidence signals and full operational visibility in one system. In short, this is not just answer generation, this is trust infrastructure for AI support. So, without further ado, let's jump straight to the demo. So this is the backend facing UI, and I already have some documents uploaded in the system. What I'm going to do here is upload another document. So this is called subscription billing and invoicing. And while this is being processed, let me quickly show you what this document contains. So basically this is an MD file and it contains some details about subscription plans supported by the enterprise and how it is billed and invoiced, right? So we have some plan comparisons, how to upgrade the plan, how to downgrade a plan, how the annual plan behaves, the payment method supported, etc. So coming back, our document is successfully ingested now. So let me now take you to the customer facing UI and we'll start asking some questions. So let's say I ask a question, what is your refund policy on annual plans? So let's see what the system answers. So first, the answer streams immediately. That matters for user experience and perceived speed. Secondly, this can run entirely on local infrastructure. I have a local 14 billion Quen model running on my system. There is no hard cloud dependency as such, but because local models can be sometimes less powerful than cloud models for some situations, there exists an optional fallback support to the cloud model for better answers. So let me just ask a follow-up question on this. So let's ask, what if I cancel after 30 days? So this is a follow-up to the previous question. Let's see what the model answers. So here I'm not repeating context, but system understands that we are still talking about refund policy. That means better customer experience, fewer dead-end conversations, and less prompt babysitting. So let me just ask something totally irrelevant to the context here. So let me just ask the system, how do I cook pasta? So let's see what comes back. So here the system correctly denies having the information about this, as this is something that is not present in our support docs, right? So now let me show you what most vendors hide. So this is real-time operational visibility, and we have metrics like database connections, queries by category. So you have two types of queries. One is vector queries and second is deep search queries. You have the average latency and a breakdown of the latency over different types of queries like vector queries and deep search queries, and how many answers were grounded in the source material and how many of them were escalated. So there are two types of escalation supported in the system. One is escalation to the cloud, and second is escalation to a deep search algorithm, right? And the system shows you routing distribution along with the fallback reasons and the latency by stage and other metrics like the circuit breaker health. So when quality drops, your team knows exactly why. We also have full session trace for each client session, which shows you messages, sources, confidence, and the generation path. So for each answer that the user received, you can actually find out why that answer came up. So, for example, for the first question asked by the user, what is the refund policy? You can actually trace the documents that were retrieved to get this answer, along with the confidence score and whether the answer came from the local model or the cloud model, right? So, one differentiator of this admin cockpit is the inspector section, which lets you enter a question here and it runs full diagnostics on this question. So you can find out exactly how the answer for this question was formed. So let's enter a question here and I'm going to click on send. Let's see what comes back. Okay, so I got a JSON response and this tells me exactly how this answer was formed. So these are the chunks retrieved from my source documents, and it also tells you the confidence, the retrieval method used, the fallback reason, if any, and other things like the answer provenance and reformulated query. And also, you have the settings section on the admin cockpit that lets you tune the RAG pipeline to your requirements. So, coming back to the slides, here's the competitive positioning of RAGent. When enterprises compare solutions, they usually see three categories. First is frameworks like LangChain or Llama Index, which give you flexibility, but your team still has to build routing, observability, evaluation, and admin tooling around it. Second are workflow tools like Defy, which are fast to prototype, but thinner on trust controls and deep diagnostics. Third is managed rack systems like Pinecone Assistants, which are fast to start but come with SaaS trade-offs around data path, cost, and control. RAGent actually gives you a middle path buyers actually want. It gives you privacy-first deployment with optional cloud fallback, a built-in trust and refusal behavior, built-in admin visibility, and production-ready operational tooling. So the bottom line is this is productized, governable, enterprise-ready rack system without locking you into pure SaaS. On enterprise concerns, RAGent is really strong where enterprises usually worry about most, with privacy-first deployment, auditable operations, scale-ready infrastructure on Kubernetes, and clear performance visibility. We should still validate final numbers in a pilot, but foundation is already built for government production use. So to summarize, this product gives you three things enterprises care about most. Better answer quality, better control of data and deployment, and better visibility when something goes wrong. If your team wants AI support that is easier to trust, easier to operate, and easier to take into production, this is the right kind of architecture. The next step is simple. We can run a pilot against your own support content and show how it performs on your real questions. Thank you.